Hello, Jasmine.
Hello, Hugo.
Hello, Andres.
Hey, hello.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Watcheando Movies, where I show my cousins movies, and we're Mexican. Yeah, that's the name of the show.
Nice.
So Jasmine, you used to like movies,
Apparently.
like a decade ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm trying to reignite your love of film by showing you movies. Andres, you didn't care about movies until 4 years ago, 2016.
Yeah.
Almost 5 years ago now, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This year's about to end.
And
Crazy.
and I'm showing you movies that you've never seen before.
Yep.
Yeah, that's another thing. We're doing a director series on the podcast. We just covered 3 David Fincher movies, and now we're going to cover 3 Wes Anderson movies. So, with that said, Jasmine, what movie are we watching today?
We are watching Rushmore.
You're a teacher here, aren't you?
Oh, I'm so glad you could come.
I want you to meet a friend of mine, Peter Flynn, Max Fisher.
Hi. Who's this guy?
Has it ever crossed your mind that you're far too young for me? I like your nurse's uniform, guy.
These are OR scrubs.
Oh, are they?
I don't know what you see in her. I don't think she's right for you.
What's that supposed to be?
Hello, Herman.
How are you, Rosemary?
I know about you and the teacher.
Spoilers, of course. Okay, so I'm going to give you some details about Wes Anderson, and then I'll give you some details about Rushmore, the movie itself. So Wes Anderson is from Texas. Do you guys know that?
Now I do.
Yeah, he graduated from the University of Texas with a degree in philosophy. So he did not go to film school. He didn't study film at all. He made a lot of films as a child on a Super 8 camera. Do you know what a Super 8 camera is, Jasmine?
No.
Do you know what a Super 8 camera is?
No.
You don't know what it is? 8mm film?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah, it's basically like you shoot
Okay.
8mm. Yeah. Do you know what?
No, I don't even know what that
Back before video existed, they shot video on these little things, and it shot, little films.
Sure.
He met Owen Wilson at the University of Texas during a playwriting class, Playwriting 101,
Is Owen Wilson from Texas?
Owen Wilson is from Texas, yeah. He has a Texas accent and everything. He sounds like a cowboy.
What?
No?
And they're
No.
best friends?
And they're best friends.
Are
That's
they?
beautiful.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
cute.
that's cute.
They're frequent writing partners.
Wow.
Uh,
Wow.
So Wes Anderson got his start. He made a short film called Bottle Rocket.
Mhm.
It was with it starred Owen Wilson and Luke Wilson,
Oh, nice.
and then that got picked up and it turned into a feature. So that was his first feature. Was a movie called Bottle Rocket, which I haven't seen.
Mhm.
That's why we're not watching it. Otherwise, we would watch
Was
it.
Owen Wilson already an established actor?
No, he wasn't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they went up together.
Oh,
in a way,
nice.
Yeah. So Rushmore is his second
Mhm.
feature. So like I said, Rushmore was written by Wes Anderson and Owen Wilson. It stars Jason Schwartzman,
Mhm.
Bill Murray, Olivia Williams, Brian Cox, Seymour Castle, and Mason Gamble. Jason Schwartzman, what you've seen before, right?
I feel like I've only ever seen him in Scott Pilgrim.
Scott Pilgrim. I think it's the first thing I've ever saw him. too, yeah.
Not sure if I've ever seen him
Yeah.
in anything else.
Very young in
And-
this one, though.
Yeah,
He's
that's his
18.
debut.
Yeah.
Is he very short? Or
He's
do they
very
just
short.
do camera tricks to make
No,
him look
he's
short?
very short.
Okay.
He's 5'6".
That's not that short.
That's pretty short, man.
I don't know. I feel like he looks super tiny
Well,
in this movie.
Bill Murray is 6'4" or something.
Mm.
Oh, wow.
So, that makes
Yeah,
it look...
yeah, that could be it.
5'6" is pretty short, I'd say.
But
Yeah.
he was like, what, 18 when
He
they
was
filmed
18.
this?
I mean, he's
Isn't
still
that-
the same size.
I mean, yeah, but I'm just like, I wasn't sure if it was age appropriate. Because he seemed a little bit older than the other kids. But maybe that's just his face. Or maybe just because
No, he didn't look older compared to, like, the redhead.
I guess so,
Yeah.
compared to like the Scottish guy.
Yeah.
And then his friend was obviously supposed to be younger,
Younger,
than him.
yeah. It premiered at TIFF. Do you remember TIFF?
The International Federation of Film.
International House of Pancakes. Toronto International Film Festival.
Oh,
On September 17th, 1998.
wow, that was 4 years after I was born.
That was the year before I was born.
Wow.
And it was released in the United States on December 11th, 1998. It was made with a budget of $10 million, and it grossed $19 million worldwide.
Okay, so it's been 22 years almost.
22 years, yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. It won 2 Independent Spirit Awards. Do you remember the Independent Spirit Awards?
Sure.
It's for independent film.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what we talk about when we talk about independent film?
Low budget films.
Yeah. In a way, we're talking about movies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What?
It's a John Mulaney joke.
Oh.
It won for Best Director for Wes Anderson and Best Supporting Actor for Bill Murray. Bill Murray was also nominated for a Golden Globe for his performance here. Actually, Wes Anderson wasn't like a well-known director, but they sent the script to Bill Murray, right? And Bill Murray liked the script so much that he did this movie for his minimum fee.
Oh wow.
Yeah, which at the time I think was like $5,000 or something.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Oh, that's good. And
Yeah.
then he's been
he's
been with him since.
yeah,
since then?
yeah. He's in almost all his movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Who can say that?
Criterion released a special edition of this in 2000, and they released their Blu-ray in 2011. You remember Criterion, right?
No.
No, they choose important films.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It has an 89% Rotten Tomato score and a 91% audience score. The consensus reads this cult favorite is a quirky coming-of-age story with fine off-kilter performances from Jason Schwartzman and Bill Murray. Yeah. So I saw this film. I loved it. That's why we're watching. I watched it recently.
Like today.
No, like a few months ago.
For the first time?
For the first time a few
Okay.
months ago. And I really, really loved it. Jasmine, Andres, did you guys have any expectations for this movie?
I figured I'd probably enjoy this one a little bit more than the previous movies we've been watching.
The David Fincher movies?
Yeah.
Because you liked the Grand Budapest Hotel.
Yeah.
You're familiar with Wes Anderson in that regard. And you said you watched Moonrise Kingdom?
Yes, I'm pretty sure I've seen it.
And Andres has also seen Grand Budapest Hotel and Moonrise Kingdom, right?
Yeah.
Those are your only movies. So what were your expectations?
I don't know if I would say it was an expectation, but I saw what year it came out. I googled it, and I was like, I wonder if he had already developed his style.
Yeah.
That was all I was thinking. Like, if I'm gonna be able to pick it up.
To pick it up. So what do you guys think?
I loved it.
You loved it?
Yeah.
Do you think his style was already established by then?
Definitely not as in your face,
Right.
but there's some parts where, like, yeah, especially with the music, I feel.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. The soundtrack. There's less of a score in this than there is
Yeah.
like actual songs.
When I think about Wes Anderson, a big thing for me is his use of colors,
Yeah.
and this one, it's not there.
Very lacking.
It's not there.
Yeah.
Very realistic in
Yeah.
its colors. Yeah.
The only one time where I was like, oh, there's the colors was when the teacher's packing up her stuff and the classroom's empty and there's some yellow thrown in there.
Oh, nice.
That was the only time where I was like, oh, there. I love coming of age stories. They're
Right.
really fun to watch.
Mhm.
And this one was just really cool.
Yeah.
Very, a very zany character,
Yeah.
And that was a fun thing.
Do you think
I
he's
had fun.
likable?
Like I was rooting for him
To win?
to win.
The love-
I wanted him to get with his teacher.
Oh really?
But it was kind of like I was rooting for him because of how absurd.
So-
Yeah.
You were rooting for pedophilia. All right.
But like there was just something about the way he was talking to her where it's like, yeah, man, you got it. Go out there, do your thing.
Get it?
Going off of what Andy had previously said about some of like his stylistic choices, I think like obviously there's like less fancy camera work, but I can kind of see the emergence of that.
Mhm.
And like the back and forth between characters when there's dialogue. And then I would say that he is when we watched Lady Bird, we were talking about how as a young teen or whatever, a teen,
Yeah.
that tenacity is like admirable, right? But
Yeah.
they
yeah,
are
yeah.
but they're
Once you get-
borderline like annoying.
annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you find this character annoying?
No, at this point, because he's so young or he's a young character, it's charming.
Uh-huh.
But like what we said with Francis Ha, if
if you got older,
it,
and
it
you
wouldn't
still-
Keep
be,
it-
you wouldn't,
yeah.
you'd find it exasperating.
Right. Yeah.
But for I think A lot of like quirky coming of age stories tend to have these very what's the word? Passionate young characters. Yeah.
Where they, yeah,
Where
where they like
go
go at it
Yeah.
pretty hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the reasons I love this movie a lot is he reminds me so much of me, especially at that age.
Being pretentious?
Yes, and also among other stuff.
And in love with your teacher?
And in love with an,
Because
old,
same.
Oh, because
with an
that,
older woman.
that old lady wanted to groom you, huh?
No,
You told us. So you're like 17 and this
don't worry about it.
25-year-old wanted,
Don't worry.
Oh,
wanted to
yeah,
groom you.
no.
That's a different one.
That's different. That's post high school.
Oh, wow.
I'm cutting all this out.
No.
Yeah, when I was in high school, you know, stuff runs wild. Yeah, it just reminded me so much of that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very relatable. Because when I was in high school, I also had a crush on a teacher. It's that my teacher was actually like my teacher. She just wasn't a teacher who happened to be at the school.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't say I can relate to your that thing of being interested in a teacher.
Maybe it's more like a boy thing.
It might be a boy thing.
Yeah.
I think probably because the other way around is more.
Creepy?
Oh yeah, it's more seen as more frowned upon.
Yeah.
I feel like if that was like imagine if this story, the lead character was a woman and then it was a male teacher, that'd be, I think, probably more off-putting to a lot more people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it because boys will be boys, or
Probably. I assume so. It's gross both ways.
yeah?
Yeah, but yeah. Anyways.
It's not as like, it's whimsical, but not to the I think sorry, and not to the extent Andy has mentioned in like his previous films, but it still had a whimsical element.
So do you prefer the whimsical, or do you prefer
Yeah.
you prefer the whimsy?
I like the over the top whimsy, comical, absurd kind of stuff.
Alright.
Yeah, I agree.
All right.
I mean, this one's definitely more relatable. Not that the other ones aren't, but those ones are more like fantastical.
And the characters don't feel grounded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this one's a lot more
Yeah. It's people dealing with
divorce,
real
and
problem. Yeah, divorce.
affairs and death,
Yeah.
and grieving,
Yeah.
growing up.
Yeah. Adulthood.
Hmm. I guess also his story structures sorry, a little bit more different here, right? I feel like with the other ones, it's very I feel like there's very, not that this one doesn't have very specific beats, but I feel like this one kind of flows a little bit more naturally versus
The sort of
the
storybook
other ones
aspect.
have like very, very snappy kind of like ding. You know what I'm trying to say?
Kind of.
Okay, that's good enough for me.
Like, you mean like the sort of chapters that they're in?
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, I mean, it's just because of the Grand Budapest was very much structured into like chapters, and maybe it's because it was supposed to be based on the author's book, or I don't remember how.
Well, it wasn't a real book, right? But
Yeah.
This also has kind of like
Acts, I guess.
yeah. Well, it has like the curtains.
For each one?
And it goes
Yeah.
October. And,
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, it feels more like a natural progression.
Yeah.
Then we cut, and then they're like in a different place
Mm-hmm.
in a different time. That's something else with like Lady Bird. They also like cut into like specific
When it was
moments.
Christmas and stuff.
Yeah.
Or
And in
just
this
kind
one,
of
it was
glazed
just
over
like
that.
it's very specifically held to like what was it, like 2 or 3 months?
Yeah.
And that's it feels more. What is it? Straightforward, straight.
Sure.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Do you guys have a favorite scene?
I like when Bill Murray goes up to the teacher's house and she offers him a carrot.
Do you want a carrot?
Yeah, I'll have one of those. Well, I'll probably be seeing you soon.
And it's just coming back and forth as he's chewing on the carrot.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just like, it's not awkward. It's funny. Because she's just kind of like looking at him.
Yeah.
And I like that. And then, that's when they agreed to go out on the walk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was a nice little scene. It was
Sweet.
cute.
Yeah.
And yeah, like that was one part where I do think that's something Wes Anderson does a lot, was those face
Cutting.
yeah, between people talking like that.
Mhm.
That's very Wes Anderson. So that was cool.
Yeah.
Did you have a favorite scene, Lugo?
I did have a favorite scene. So my favorite scene is the ending where it's just him and the teacher.
Would you like to dance?
Yeah, but let's see if the DJ can play something with a little more. Ruben!
And then they're talking, and then finally they dance, and it's like in slow motion, and they go on to dance, and that's really good. Because that was like his whole, like he made it look like he was trying to put Bill Murray and her together, but in reality he wanted that moment, and he obviously like planned it for that moment, and I thought that was very, very, very sweet too, even though it's a 15-year-old and a 30-year-old.
Yeah, that's sweet, man.
That music playing too, that song is great, man.
It was cool because I was not expecting that song to start playing.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was expecting, but it definitely wasn't
Not that song, yeah. But he's like, let's get something different. I was expecting like a dance.
Yeah.
But,
I thought it was gonna be like a little party scene.
Yeah.
Like
but no, it's
happy ending type thing.
It's very romantic. It's very sort of like classic film style.
I don't know if it counts as a scene or it's like sequences.
Sure.
But it was when they went over all like his extracurricular activities.
Oh right, the montage. Yeah. That was nice.
Sure.
That was fun.
I mean, it's kind of odd, right? Because he's like so invested in his school life.
Right.
But he doesn't care about his academics. But he's clearly a smart person.
Yeah.
He just doesn't bother with.
For some reason, that's never like established why.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure he can.
Yeah.
Right? Because he seems capable of forming all these elaborate clubs and organizing events and writing plays and organizing that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he's just like, school's not.
It seems like he just throws himself 100% fully at the things he's interested in, and then there's no time for everything else. So all this academic stuff are just like added to him, like boring.
It doesn't even like
fun.
cross his mind.
Yeah.
When he's in that with his father, he's like, I got to start trying to score chicks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys have a least favorite scene, Jasmine?
No, I don't have any.
Do you have a least favorite scene?
I don't think so.
All right. Yeah. That's good.
Those. I don't know. I don't remember what scene it was, but there was one part where it was very awkward and I was cringing. I'm trying to remember what it was.
Was it the dinner scene? That one, like.
The dinner scene. It was hard to watch.
With
with
Luke Wilson.
Luke Wilson.
Yeah.
He's just like, fuck you. Man.
Yeah.
It was my special night and you hurt my feelings.
But that wasn't like a least favorite scene because it was bad.
Just
it was good. It was done well. It did what it was trying to do.
Yeah.
I just don't like what it did to me.
Yeah.
Let's break it down then. What do you guys think about the writing of this?
I really enjoy the dialogue. So I'm going to talk about the scene where he's in the library with the teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like telling her like he's not expecting anything out of this relationship.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah. Just the way they go back and forth, and like this guy is written like to be very prepared. I don't know how I want to describe him.
What do you mean? Like,
but he's like, this isn't a relationship. He's like, I just meant our friendship. I can go get a dictionary if you want. He comes off as like a smart ass, but like
adorable.
Kind of adorable, but he's like quick on his toes. He like doesn't skip a beat with it.
Right.
Yeah. Something about him.
He doesn't get tripped up. Yeah.
Yeah. I really like the way he was written. I like all his lines follow that.
Yeah. It's very like confident.
Yeah, he's a very confident guy, even though maybe he shouldn't be.
and maybe he's not really confident inside,
I feel like the dialogue was also very naturalistic.
Especially compared to the Grand Budapest. Yeah.
It's sounds like
real people talking.
Yeah, how real people sound. And it works in favor for this movie. I don't know why I said that way. It works in favor
Is this a movie?
It works in favor for this movie because, and I don't know if it's because it's like earlier in his filmography, that maybe he wasn't like trying to find out what he wanted to do, style wise. But it was a lot more toned down. Obviously, I mean, maybe it's not even toned down. Maybe it's just like that's the baseline, and then he just kind of like, okay, I can push it a little bit more. And blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But even then, I would still say the characters are kind of pretty like unique and quirky, especially like the main main three.
They still have that sort of like really direct sort of way of addressing each other, because it's not
especially the main character.
Oh yeah, like he's like, how, when did he die, or how did he die? It's like, wait, okay, you don't ask like that. And
and then when she's talking about how her ex-husband had more creativity and stuff in one fingernail, and he's like, dead fingernail.
Dead fingernail.
Like, what the heck, dude?
And then she starts crying.
Like, that was so disrespectful. What are you doing?
Oh, and that scene too, when he's in the bed, she also is kind of dragged in, because she also is like, how did your mom die? Like straight up, you know. There's not a lot of hesitations. Yeah, that's where you're going with the sort of like preparedness, right?
Yeah,
there's not a lot of hesitation in any of the dialogue. It's very like, everyone's kind of not like how we talk in real life, you know, with all these ums and ers.
It's all very snappy.
Yeah, witty.
Yeah.
What do you think about the structure of the story?
It's like in Grand Budapest Hotel, that chapter structure fits really well. And in this one, I felt like it was a little unnecessary, that we needed those little breaks to show what month we were in. Because I didn't feel like that added too much. There was times where it was like, no, actually, I don't think there was ever a time where I was like, I felt like I needed to know
what month it was.
Yeah. I don't think but they did other things, like when they showed the Halloween costumes and pumpkins,
and then Thanksgiving.
Yeah, they did other things that we didn't need those for this movie.
Yeah, you know, Wes Anderson fought really hard for those curtain.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Wow.
The studio didn't want that.
Huh.
I think it works for the beginning, and I think it works for the end as well. But those middle ones.
So the storyline's very linear.
Yeah.
In this one, and maybe why it doesn't work in this one versus the Grand Budapest is that it kind of skips through timelines, right? Because we follow, I don't remember his name.
Ralph Fiennes, right?
Ralph Fiennes' character, and then Jude Law's character. Those were the main two we'd go back and forth, right?
Yeah.
So you kind of needed that, like,
where are we now?
Maybe it wasn't super necessary, but it makes more sense there versus this one where it was such a short time frame. I'm sure the audience wouldn't have gotten lost. Maybe it was just for like the aesthetic.
Oh
reasons,
yeah.
Like
for the curtain stuff, because like plays have intermissions. Yeah.
So maybe that's what he was going for.
So it's very
very traditional.
Traditional, yeah. What do you guys think about the acting?
I mean, honestly, even though it was his film debut, I think
Jason
Schwartz did a really good job, and he stood his own against like a
Bill
veteran
Murray.
actor. Yeah.
Very.
I think they did really good. Were really good foils to each other, but also had like a good. I don't know, kind of like there's a good but like odd friendship between them.
Yeah.
Like unconventional. That's maybe the word I'm looking for. But yeah, I think they each complemented each other's performances really well.
Yeah.
I really like the little kid, and thinking back on it, I think his character really fits that.
Wes Anderson.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's because of little kids.
Yeah.
Little kids are a lot are very present in Wes Anderson films usually. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's his childhood.
Childhood, innocence, whimsy.
Idealism.
Any standouts?
So I was gonna comment on this, but I feel like, and I don't know if I haven't seen that many Jason Schwartzman films.
Yeah, me either.
But I feel like he kind of plays a similar character in Scott Pilgrim.
You mean like
this
a
really
nerd?
talky, charming kind of guy, right? So I haven't seen a lot of it, so I'm not sure if it's just like
You know who I get him confused a lot with is Adrian Brody.
No.
I get them confused all the time, man.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't really look anything alike.
No? Yeah, they do. Yeah. They look like they could be brothers.
Maybe. And he was also in like some Wes Anderson stuff, right?
Adrian Brody, yeah, he is.
He was the cousin
He was in,
or something.
Grand Budapest.
Or the son? I don't remember what he was.
He was the
Nephew?
the son
Okay.
of the woman that died, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyways, what do you think about that? I think her name is
The
Olivia Williams.
Okay.
Okay, you don't think she?
I think she probably did an. I mean, I'm gonna say she did a good job, but I think I feel bad saying this. I think it got a little bit overshadowed by
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray and
Jason
Jason
Schwartzman.
Schwartzman.
I think her role was a little more.
Passive?
Yeah, she was more of a calm character, and then we see these two other very
Eccentric.
Yeah.
People,
Yeah.
So she kind of like feels a little more mute compared to
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that she feels like the most grounded performance,
Yeah.
but she feels like the most like a real person.
Yeah.
And I think maybe she just I think that's probably, I don't know if that was intentional on Wes Anderson's part, but that was like a very interesting sort of, like she just acted like if it was a normal movie
Yeah.
without any sort of style, stylistic whatever whims, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, words.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think about the barber, the dad barber?
The dad, he was also probably one of the other like more
Calm?
normal,
Yeah.
kind of like yeah.
He played
you
a
could-
dad very well.
Yeah.
And he's very warm.
Yeah, very likable.
He's
Yeah.
not supposed to be like abusive or anything, right?
Yeah.
And he doesn't like
Care.
He does not that he doesn't care. He just doesn't yell at his son for like failing at
Oh
school.
no, not just that, but I don't think he takes it too much to heart that his son tells other people he's a brain surgeon or a neurosurgeon.
Oh
or
yeah,
whatever.
like he's like
He just makes a joke about it.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
like
people get it confused though.
yeah, and he's like, yeah, like I don't know. It seems like he doesn't care, right? Because that could have easily been another
It's like a story.
A
sort of
storyline,
part,
right?
Or
Yeah.
something for. It is a bit of an arc, but it's because he like figures it out on his own
yeah.
that he
true.
shouldn't be ashamed. Yeah. Well, who else is in this?
The
Luke
Scottish
Wilson?
guy
The Scottish guy.
and
all
then
the, yeah,
Dirk.
all the kids are good.
Yeah.
In this, and that's very rare, I think, for child performances
Oh, and
to
then
be.
that Margaret girl.
Margaret Yang.
Yeah.
Yeah, and who's not in anything else. I think it's the only thing she's ever done. So, I don't know how old she was. I assume she was probably like 17, 18
Mhm.
as well. Yeah, she was great.
Yeah.
She actually, I think she fit a lot of the Wes Anderson mold
Yeah.
a lot than most of the characters.
Really?
Yeah, like if she could probably be in the Grand Budapest.
I'll take your
Like
word for it.
because she lied on the science fair and stuff.
Or just like her performance in general.
Oh,
how
okay.
it's like so
I thought you meant like her character.
the character, no. I mean
Okay,
like the
okay.
performance, yeah, because it's like kind of stilted and very like if it,
Yeah,
all those
yeah.
performances in the Grand Budapest, like Zero is like very like stilted and cinematography.
Oh, when we first watched Grand Budapest, you told me I'm going to show you this movie. It has very distinct cinematography.
Yeah.
If you don't know anything about cinematography,
You notice
this
it,
one
yeah.
you'll help you notice it.
Yeah.
And I think like I mentioned earlier, I can kind of see bits and pieces as how he uses cinematography to help him convey the story.
Mhm.
Not to the extent of obviously
The
some of
Grand
his later,
Budapest.
yeah. But trying to think of ones I noticed right away. Obviously, it was like that, as Andy mentioned, too, the back and forth between characters when they speak to each other, right? Doesn't always, I guess, I don't know, there's different frames, but that was the main one I noticed. I'm trying to think if there was anything besides that Scream Prison video we saw.
No, yeah.
I did notice when they were at church, but like that, I think that's just the design of it.
A church.
Yeah,
Yeah.
how it's
Oh.
Symmetrical.
So I wanted to
You got
mention
same amount of
that.
pews.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it looks
yeah.
good.
So obviously in that church scene, all the other Catholic boys were just wearing their like,
Oh yeah, they were just their shirts,
and then it
and he
just-
has this whole jacket.
yeah, so you could kind of see right away. It's like, oh, this guy's the
This guy stands
you know
out.
that
This
anime.
guy's the main character.
Yeah, yeah.
That anime.
No, like in anime, where it's like if it's you know who the main character is because they'll have like bright, colorful hair or something,
Oh,
and that was kind of it.
yeah. He's always wearing that jacket.
Yeah.
Even when he moves schools,
Yeah.
he's still wearing that.
I guess when they were flying that kite, they weren't centered to the screen. They're a little bit off to the side.
hmm
I'm not sure why. I thought.
Oh
they were,
yeah, when they're like just
I
like
thought they were
standing there.
like ice fishing or something.
Yeah,
They
that's
were
kind
just-
of isolation
I mean, I guess
because he felt
maybe
alone.
it also marks kind of like the switch in their, not switch, but like their friendship.
Dynamic.
Yeah, because it's not that Jason Schwartzman's like now his underling or anything, but
He was
it's-
knocked down a
he-
peg.
yeah, there you go. Andy.
That's good.
So when I think of Wes Anderson, the main thing for cinematography is symmetry.
Yeah.
So I was looking for that, and I didn't notice a lot of it.
No.
No.
Well,
When does that
you know,
start, man? Next movie?
That starts. I think that's more in We see it in the next movie more, but I think Life Aquatic is like probably the the one that's like very out there. Yeah, that's where like, and I think Fantastic Mr. Fox is also like a lot of people cite that as his, whatever.
Okay.
What am I trying to say here? Anyways,
Words.
go on.
That was it.
Is it?
No symmetry.
Yeah,
symmetry.
not a lot of symmetry at least.
Oh, yeah.
I noticed a little bit, but
Right. Yeah. And he, like we saw in that video, he didn't have any control over his sets.
yeah, because he
Yeah.
just did it at the school, right?
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
he
The
worked
school
with-
that he went to.
Yeah, so he just worked with what he had.
It definitely does look different. Like you can tell that it's more like framed on purpose than a lot of like indie movies are,
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't go for like a naturalistic like camera, handheld vibe. Even though it does have a lot of handheld in this movie. Like there's a lot of handheld in this movie. And maybe that's like budgetary
Maybe.
reasons.
Yeah.
But yeah, it helps to make you feel more like the most natural Wes Anderson movie ever. I don't know why I said it like that. All right, let's go to music.
So right off the bat, I guess was that score or just
So it
soundtrack?
includes everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
So right off the bat, the first minute or so,
Yeah, the first
like
seconds.
the music was very distinctly his.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he uses a lot of classical music.
Not just classical, but like that's probably the most whimsical stuff
Yeah.
I noticed in this film was the
Mhm.
music.
Even
Very-
like the
very
actual
kind of like
songs.
happy. Maybe that's also sets the tone for the movies. I think, even though they have like maybe a few like serious themes or like sad themes, even it's still overall like a happy kind of movie,
Mhm.
like a feel good kind of movie.
Yeah. Even the actual songs.
These songs were very like teen angsty 90s
Oh, yeah.
kind of
90s,
music.
80s sort of
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Which I mean fits with the
Yeah. It's
The movie-
it's the 90s.
yeah. But it kind of just threw me. Maybe not threw me, but I guess I wasn't
Like,
expecting.
you don't
it.
expect that music in a Wes
Yeah.
Anderson movie. Yeah. That's,
I was not expecting like actual songs
yeah. Me either. I
or
was like,
or
whoa, that's different.
modern songs.
Yeah.
You know.
They play that one song when Bill Murray's sad. I guess he's
Bye.
like it suggests that his wife is cheating on him. I guess that's what he thinks, and then that's what the song says. It's like 2-timer or whatever. Yeah, and that's why he goes out and cheats, even though she wasn't cheating. I'm guessing she wasn't cheating. Otherwise, why would she divorce him? Oh, I guess he's because
I mean, double standards. Like I
Yeah.
can do it,
But
but
not
then
you.
you can.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I talked about how I like that song at the end. There's a lot of like in the montages they use music like songs.
Yeah.
I like that song when they show all his extracurriculars, and then when they show him and Bill Murray being friends. Let's talk about editing. Do you guys notice any editing?
Just the curtains.
Just the curtains. And I don't think there's any like wild edits or anything like that, right? Yeah. No, everything's nice. They always say good editing is editing you don't notice. So, and directing, which is a summation of all the parts that
for
we
a
went
second
through.
time, it seemed like he had maybe an idea of what he wanted to do with his films. I think so. For directing, part of it is kind of helping the actors like get a better grasp of their characters and like maybe like help them fine tune the tone of like the scene or something, right?
Yeah.
So we were talking about how like the teacher was the most grounded.
Mhm.
Do you think that was purposeful, or do you think
I don't know.
or do you think it was?
Like her own acting technique.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Well, it does feel. I don't know. Maybe they say like there's something about her, right?
Maybe.
Maybe that's like she's off kilter in that world, but she's normal
Yeah.
here. So maybe it was intentional.
Okay.
But I don't know. Yeah.
Well, so I'm trying to get a better grasp of directing, right? So I'm trying to think of. We recently saw, not recently, but like we saw Ed Norton in
Fight Club.
Fight Club, and then he was also in Moonrise Kingdom and in Budapest, the Great Budapest.
Yeah, yeah,
Ballet.
yeah. And he acts differently.
I think
Is that-
he changes his like the tone and mannerisms.
Yeah.
Not just for the character, but
To fit the movie.
to fit the movie, right?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to. So I don't know if her performance was intentional or if it was just there was that like he couldn't.
Mold her how he
Yeah.
wanted.
Yeah.
I was like, just let her do her thing.
Maybe, I
I guess
don't
she doesn't
know.
understand what I'm trying to do, but she's great and
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know, but I don't know. That's just
Who knows?
I
Yeah.
don't know.
We can never know. It's probably in an interview somewhere. But yeah. That was like, 1998. It was like in
20
newspapers and
28,
magazines.
wow.
Whoa. You have to look through
Oh
those.
man. Yeah. That's but I think he was starting to have a general idea of maybe what he wanted his
Yeah, his
films
style,
to
yeah,
be.
to
Yeah.
look like and feel like. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I feel like I get more of the impression that he was still figuring out his style, and not that he didn't know how to achieve it yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I think for that reason, I'm gonna say that maybe it's not that he didn't tell her how to act correctly. No, that sounds weird. It's not that he didn't mold her to
Yeah.
fit in well. He was just still figuring out what that meant for the whole cast, maybe. Because in other movies, the whole cast fits in perfectly. In this one, she's a little different than everyone else. But maybe that's just because he didn't know if that's what he wanted.
Yeah.
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 So that's how I feel about it, at least.
Mm-hmm.
As a whole, I feel like I get enough taste to know that he wanted to get there, but I don't feel like he failed at it. I feel more like he was just working on it.
Mm-hmm.
This was it for him,
Right,
like
yeah.
this was where he was at, not like where he was trying to, not like he was trying to go somewhere and didn't make it.
Right.
This was just
This
level.
is what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
I can see that. Who knows about,
Yeah, it's hard to say. Like,
Yeah. We'll meet him one day, though.
we'll ask him directly.
We'll
like,
ask him directly. Hey, where did you just couldn't get her to do what you wanted, or what?
what went wrong.
What went wrong? Yeah. So, any negatives you guys want to say? What would you change?
I wouldn't call it some negative, but I would like to see him redo this story
Oh,
with
his
a
style,
full style, no stop, and like see if like I would like it more, because I kind of like how this one's more subtle.
Right. But you just want to see like the style of the Grand Budapest with.
Yeah, with this story
Yeah.
and these characters, I think that'd be interesting.
You can't have Jason Schwartzman anymore. I guess you have to put Timothy Chalamet. Yeah.
I don't think
He wouldn't work.
Yeah, I was gonna say
No,
no.
he wouldn't
really.
not at all.
Yeah.
He would not work. He doesn't have that same.
Energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even face, man, his face really captures. Not captures. That face really goes well with that smart ass attitude he
Yeah.
has.
Yeah.
That's probably why he plays Scott Pilgrim. That
Yeah.
villain is Scott
Yeah,
Pilgrim.
yeah.
Jasmine, do you have any negatives? Anything you'd change?
No, I think it was perfectly acceptable movie.
Ho 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 ho!
Just because the two previous movies I watched,
Main Citizen Kane.
I was very bored.
Is this better than Citizen Kane? Would you say?
Wow, yes.
All right. So, would you guys give this a thumbs up or thumbs down?
Thumbs up.
2 thumbs up.
Yeah,
I would
thumbs-
recommend this movie to a lot of people.
Yeah, thumbs up. So, that's our discussion on Rushmore.
Nice.
We're going to be covering The Royal Tenenbaums and also The Life Aquatic of Steve Zissou.
Mm-hmm.
You know those movies, right?
No,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah. So that's what's on the plate for the rest of the month. I think we're also going to cover the Santa Claus trilogy at the end of the end of the month. That's just one episode where we talk about all 3 of them.
Where did this come from?
You
That on my original text that
for
I
me?
sent. Like
didn't you say you wanted to do
I
it?
sent,
Yeah, but I said it in a joking way.
I sent the text like in the middle of November of what the rest of the year was going to look like. And I guess neither of you guys saw it.
I don't
But
remember.
it said the Santa Claus trilogy at the end.
I remember.
Sick.
I remember
Like
Andy
right
was
before
saying
Christmas.
how
The Santa Claus is my number 1 favorite movie of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Jasmine, how's Wes Anderson looking like to you?
Better.
Better than David Fincher?
Yeah.
You hear that, David? She hates you.
Or try to start fights here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
That's it. Thanks for listening.